Films have come a long way from the gentle romance of Casablanca. It used to be love and action, now porn, horror and piracy are key elements in the free-for-all that make up the Irish video industry. Horror films like this make huge money today, greater than the annual turnover of many Irish companies. I just rented 2 tapes here in the centre of Dublin for as little as £1 a night. This one is the controversial Evil Dead, and this one, perhaps more horrific, is a film called The Entity in a coffin-shaped box. It's about repeated rape by a brutal force. Tapes like these are available in hundreds of outlets all over the country. Pornographic and pirated tapes account for up to £15 million of the annual turnover of the video industry every single year.
In one hand here I've got the original version, and this hand here I've got the pirate version. This version we have to sell for various reasons at £55 plus VAT. This version is available at £15 VAT. These people pay no tax, no royalties back to the film company.
This is the pirate version that's available in Ireland?
Yes, this is available in every county in Ireland. It's widespread from Donegal down to Cork, from Cork to Dublin.
And particularly from all the studies that happened in those related to crime, that there was a direct connection. So I think the industry is an expanding industry, but we were very anxious in government to ensure that the criminal elements and the effects it has on young people, that would be just cut out of the industry. And I think the industry is now responding to what the government is doing.
Mr. Collins said he was satisfied that both extremely violent and pornographic videos should be totally banned. He felt a considerable number now available were most objectionable and degrading to women. The new bill, which he hopes to bring before the Seanad by the autumn, will provide heavy penalties. But who will decide which videos should be banned?
The film censor will decide which video films should be banned, and I would presume that the same standards that he applies already in dealing with ordinary films will apply in the case of the video nasties, which we're trying to deal with in this legislation which is presently being drafted.
And will there be a process to appeal against it?
Of course there will be, as there is at the present time. If somebody feels that the film censor's decision should be challenged, well then they may appeal to the appeals board.
The minister, who was speaking here at the Department of Justice, also said he believed these videos had a direct bearing on some of the more violent crimes that had been committed, especially crimes against women.
I'm personally satisfied, and as are all those who are advising me, that these particular type of video nasties are certainly very degrading to women. I also believe very firmly that they must have some effect on a certain small section of our community, and I do believe very definitely, and I'm advised very strongly in this as well, that in some instances what's seen in these video nasty type films may be accepted by a small minority as normal standards.
Been having quite considerable complaints from every unit of the party in relation to the type of video that's now being shown, and we're quite satisfied that there is a very strong relationship between the upsurge in violent crime, particularly crime against women, and serious crime generally in the country, and these video nasties.
Well, even if they're all that bad, is legislation going to work, given that I gather you can bring in even one video nasty and run it off 1,000 times?
Well, this is what we're trying to deal with in the bill, because under normal circumstances this would be dealt with by the censorship officer or committee, but in this case the right of search will be vested with the Gardaí in the normal way, and the right of penalty will be vested in the court, and this will be dealt with in camera, and the penalties imposed at that level. So it will be dealt with somewhat differently to the normal film, which would be shown publicly and therefore would be easily detectable.
And finally, the accusation that you're unnecessarily indulging in censorship.
Well, no, it is not censorship. It is essential, as I said to you earlier on during the press conference. The position is now that we've established that in some countries you have actual killings being carried out and recorded on film, and it's only a matter of time, I reckon, before this type of crime will now filter through into Ireland. And in fact, the evidence that we have from the police and the statements made from those sources indicate that there is a direct relationship between crime and video nasties.